Crypto Kids, good morning. Today we're going to conduct a realistic Ethereum price prediction. Over the past few months, we've been making videos with creators like Carl Moon, we've been making videos with creators like Benjamin Cohen, and giving you also my thorough analysis on what I think would happen to the price of Ethereum. Now, we've been longing Ethereum together over on week since 1.5 and 1.6 thousand dollars. And since then, without leverage, the price of Ethereum is up over 200%. And in this video, I wanted to give you a breakdown of what I think will happen next for Ethereum, as I know so many people are anxious of a potential drop, or do we continue to brand new all-time highs and end up following Bitcoin to reach the upper resistance of multi-cycle resistance at $8,000. And all of those things I will get to today. I'll even go over what I think will happen to the Ethereum to altcoin charts, so the relation between Ethereum to altcoins, and some altcoins that I'm planning on buying over the next few months because I think they look incredibly bullish. So with that said, if you do like this video, I would definitely appreciate if you destroyed the like button. Let's see if we can reach over 750 likes for this specific video. And if you're looking for a place to trade, we've been opening positions on Ethereum over the past few months over on Weeks. And if you sign up to Weeks using this link in the description down below, in 24 hours time, you're going to get 25% off your trading fees by being upgraded to VIP level 2. So if you've done those things, let's cover the price action for Ethereum on the monthly time frame, then we will make our way through. So on the monthly time frame, we spoke about this bullish pennant for quite a long amount of time. We traded those breakouts. We traded Ethereum breaking to the upside. Currently, we're sitting at $4,769 for Ethereum, and we've confirmed the breakout above this upper line of resistance. We're not in search for a confirmation. The confirmation has already been executed. And actually, yesterday we hit a brand new all-time high for Ethereum at $4,880, which is something that we expected. When we go to the video that we made with Benjamin Cohen said Ethereum came home, and we're going to see quantitative easing following a rate cut on Ethereum. And that was actually around the bottom for Ethereum where we started entering our long positions. And over on the video we made with Carl Moon, where we said buy 10 Ethereum and become rich on May the 4th of 2025, the price of Ethereum was at 1.8, and we looked at the Ethereum Bitcoin chart and mentioned that Ethereum Bitcoin was approaching a level that was last tested back in 2019. And as soon as we tested that as support and started climbing to the upside, the price of Ethereum actually bottomed out and we began our move to hit brand new all-time high. So that was another reason we bought at that time. And we mentioned that that is a very good sign for now a reversal in Ethereum Bitcoin, where Ethereum starts outperforming Bitcoin and we go to the upside and reach brand new all-time highs. I will get into this chart in a little bit more detail in just a few minutes time, so stay tuned for that. Right now I want to focus on the bullish pennant. So this bullish pennant has broken to the upside, and if you're looking for a technical target for this bullish pennant, you need to switch out of the logarithmic scale, adjust the pennant a little bit, and then we can measure the height of the symmetrical triangle, which is a part of the pennant, and I like to put it above the breakout zone, giving you a target of $7,200. So that is what I would be looking for on the price of Ethereum, just specifically from this bullish pennant alone. I do want to note, by the way, Ethereum did hit a brand new all-time high yesterday, but we didn't actually hit an inflation-adjusted all-time high. If you look at the $4,800-ish worth back in 2021, Ethereum's prior all-time high, that is worth today only $5,700, or it's worth $5,700, which is more. So if you had invested in Ethereum back then, technically you're still not in profits, inflation adjusted. You would have to wait for Ethereum to surpass 5.7 to actually be in inflation adjusted profits. But thankfully, with the target of this bullish pennant, I think we're going to go way beyond that in this cycle. And that's one of the reasons why I'm still long in Ethereum and I'm still holding on to my long positions. Another reason that we want to go over is that this bullish pennant is a fractal of what happened in the prior cycle in 2020 and 2021. You can see that this bullish pennant structure alongside the RSI structure has been repeating what happened back in 2020 and 2021. In the month of July, you tried to see a breakout. August is the confirmation of the breakout. And then going into Q4 of 2020, you start seeing the price of Ethereum absolutely rocket to the upside. That exact same thing is happening today on the price of Ethereum, and it was something that we spoke about on previous videos too. And yet again was another reason why we said we expect much higher price action going into the final months of Q4. Therefore, I'm buying as much Ethereum as I possibly can. And the main idea and the main concept of what I'm trying to convey to you on this video is that it's not too late to buy Ethereum. I think Ethereum has so much more price movements to go further to the upside, and now it's still a pretty good time, in my opinion, to be accumulating Ethereum. Apart from the bullish pennant, another chart that we looked at was the $4,000 multi-year resistance, which Ethereum struggled to break out of multiple times, tricked us. At that point, we thought that Ethereum could break out finally and start heading to new all-time highs. But actually, it took until basically a few weeks ago for us to break successfully out of $4,000 and mark the reversal of a major resistance into support. In a prior video, we mentioned that if Ethereum does see a retest of 4,000, confirms that retest with a nice bullish candle or reversal candle, then it's going to be confirmation for me to add more into my Ethereum holdings, because testing that multi-year resistance as support and then bouncing to the upside is a massive thing. And we got that. That happened. And I added a lot of Ethereum to my spot positions because of that retest. Can we come down to this level, test it again, or do we have to now continue surging to brand new all-time highs? That is a topic I will look into, but just as a TLDR, I don't think that it's unlikely for Ethereum to come down to 4,000 once again. I think it's definitely possible. In the month of September, during Bitcoin halving, post-halving years, Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, they tend to see a correction going into September. And the legendary analyst Benjamin Cohen, who made the prediction with us that Ethereum actually would be seeing a bottoming out here because it came home to the logarithmic regression band, mentions that, well, he mentioned that in August we're going to hit an all-time high, but then going into September, Ethereum can correct all the way down to $4,000. So it's definitely not off the table that Ethereum comes down back to 4K. So that's why opening limit orders down to $4,000 would still, in my opinion, make a lot of sense. But overall, I am very, very bullish on Ethereum. So is the Trump family. Right after Fed Chair Powell cut rates, they decided to, or he didn't cut rates, but he was very dovish in the anticipation of a rate cut to allow altcoin season so that money is cheaper to borrow and people borrow money and they don't want to keep money in the banks and they put it into equities and assets like altcoins. That's why markets were pumping on Friday. But anyways, the Trump organization, they wanted to buy, or they did buy, $5 million worth of Ethereum following Fed Chair Powell's dovish speech in Jackson Hole. What is my target, though? What is my overall target for Ethereum? Where do I think Ethereum can reach in this cycle or by the end of altcoin season? Well, the answer to that is lying on the multi-cycle resistance that Ethereum has been forming on the monthly time frame, just like what Bitcoin has been doing. So the white line is a representation of the price of Bitcoin. You can see that we came up to that multi-cycle resistance on the price of Bitcoin and recently broke through it. When we look into Ethereum, we're still incredibly premature, and we're approximately, when you overlay it, when you try and do the overlaying can be mismatched and you can overlay it in multiple different ways. But I would say approximately 60 to 70% away Ethereum is from where Bitcoin is. And that catch up is equated to 60 to 70%. And Ethereum will play that catch up trade. I think we will come up to the upper multi-cycle resistance and do what Bitcoin has done. You need to understand that every single cycle there is a transfer of capital. Phase one is Bitcoin, then you go into Ethereum, then capital goes into large caps, and then you have the final altcoin season. Ethereum is going to play that catch up. That catch up will mostly be done during Q4 when Bitcoin sees a new top and a new all-time high, or the final all-time high for the cycle. And I think Ethereum can go all the way to $8,000. When we look at the Ethereum Bitcoin dominance, I think Ethereum will therefore continue to outperform Bitcoin as Bitcoin sees a top, in my opinion, around 130 to 140. That could change, but we do have a beautiful bump and run reversal pattern forming on Ethereum Bitcoin. This is what the bump and run looks like from a technical textbook perspective. I think we're going to see a breakout, a very nice breakout. It could take some time. We could see a small dump before doing so. But overall, in the next few months, I think we will break out massively from this bump and run reversal. Ethereum will continue to outperform Bitcoin, and we will reach the $8,000 territories. When we look at Bitcoin, though, just very quickly, I know this is this is an Ethereum video, but very quickly on Bitcoin, I will make a more detailed Bitcoin video tonight, so stay tuned on the channel for that video. But Bitcoin hits the line of resistance that we were looking at 17,600. The reason why we said that is a major line of resistance following the bottom for Bitcoin, which we predicted also at 11,900. We said that 17,500 is the level to be looking out for, as most of the volume in that range is targeted at 17,600. And volume being targeted at that range can create a major amount of resistance. So we reached there, and now we're seeing a dropping in price to the supports of $15,000. What do I think will happen next? Well, there is a CME gap open at 17,235. So going into next week, I do expect Bitcoin to bounce and close that CME gap. And actually that will create an inverse head and shoulders and hopefully give us enough fuel to go back over the $120,000 mark. But that was just very quick Bitcoin today. I love that we're getting this retest with a bullish reversal candle onto the weekly resistance of the prior inverse head and shoulder. Let's see if that can hold. Are lower prices not possible for Bitcoin anymore? Absolutely not. They're still possible. But so far, I think Bitcoin's charts are looking pretty good. Like I said, there's always a transfer of capital from Bitcoin to Ethereum to large caps, then to altcoin season. After Ethereum finds its topping at around the $8,000 mark, then we're going to see the rest of the large caps and rest of the micro caps start pumping and experience the banana zone, which will end, in my opinion, in Q1 of 2026. When we look into the total 3 crypto cap chart, which is all of the altcoins excluding Ethereum, and then there's obviously no Bitcoin, we have the similar multi-cycle resistance and Bitcoin catch-up trade to do. We also have a huge cup and handle forming on the total 3 crypto cap. If we can confirm a breakout over 1.02 trillion this month, I think that's going to ignite altcoin season, and we can see up to a 2x return on the total 3 crypto cap chart. This will mean your favorite large caps will probably see a very large increase, and I think the Ethereum to altcoins chart will also see a reversal soon. So I'm accumulating altcoins like Ondo Finance, which on the 30th of, the 9th of the 3rd of September, I get always confused between the British and the American ways of writing dates. But on the 3rd of September, they're going to be launching their own tokenized stocks. This tokenization of stocks is going to be a massive hit in my opinion, and I think Ondo Finance will see so much traction, and I'm trying to buy the dip as much as possible on Ondo Finance. Then you can buy Ondo Finance using the link for Weeks, Coinflare, or Bybit in the description down below if you want to be supporting this channel. Tokenization and stable coins are going to be massive hits. Ondo Finance is a layer 2 built on Ethereum, so in return, Ethereum's price action will also see an increase to the upside because you're using the Ethereum layer 1, and things like Chainlink, Avalanche, or also other tokenization protocols that are built on Ethereum. AVAX is its own blockchain, sorry, but Chainlink is on Ethereum. I think they will also see massive increases to the upside. Then going into another altcoin, which this one is mostly important for stablecoins, Solana is also looking very bullish. Huge cup and handle on Solana, and I'm expecting $500 by the end of altcoin season on the price of Solana. The final coin we will go into is BNB. BNB is seeing a huge breakout on the inverse head and shoulders, and the target is 1,200. I personally don't think you're too late to be longing BNB. We've been talking about this breakout for the past 3 weeks on this channel. But overall, I think BNB can go to 1,200, even $1,250. To end off the video, in the short term, it's super important that Ethereum keeps the line of support here on the 1 hourly time frame. If we see a confirmed breakdown, then we could see a short-term correction. But let's see what Ethereum will present. Tonight, I will make a full detailed Bitcoin and short-term Ethereum analysis, so stay tuned for that video. Guys and girls, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you soon on the video that I'll be posting tonight. Take care, and as always, bye-bye.